It's a lovely good evening. Welcome to Camnet Television Main News. My name is Jeffrey Ziambo to present. And our top stories in the news tonight: CADRE infiltration prompts COMESA market traders to seek refuge at the American Embassy. The Millers Association of Zambia disappointed in the UPND. Schools temporarily close in MONZE due to floods. In international news, South African farmer warns of food shortages amidst ongoing power cuts. And in sports news, ZAVA to decentralize volleyball activities across the country.
Good news, good news. The rains have started. You need to plan your future. Generational wealth is the way to go. House-grafted avocado plants fruiting within 2 to 3 years for sale at only 90 kwacha each, and ordinary avocados at only 45 kwacha each. Contact us on 0979 753010 or 0962 965 883. We are open from 8 hours to 17 hours, Monday to Friday, at Healing Word Ministries International in Ibex Hill, opposite Hilltop Hospital.
Hello again, another news in detail. Over 120 houses, including schools and roads in Chief Chongo village of MONZE district have been submerged in water due to heavy floods that have been experienced in the area in the last 1 week. MONZE District Commissioner MONZE says this is the first time in the history of Zambia that MONZE District has experienced such flooding, and has since called on the Disaster Management and Mitigation Unit DMMU to rush to the area. Mr. Malambo also says all the fields in the area have been submerged and that household goods have been destroyed. Meanwhile, Nteme Basic School head teacher Hawonke Wanakalimina says learning at the school has been suspended and is worried that it might not resume anytime soon. More in this report.
Several houses, schools, roads and fields in MONZE district have been submerged due to heavy rains that have been experienced in the district. This is Chief Jongo's village in the province, which has not been spared from the impact of heavy rains, and residents of the area are traumatized as they have never experienced such kind of rains in the history of the country. MONZE District Commissioner MONZE has since called on the government through the Disaster Management and Mitigation Unit DMMU and other cooperating partners to quickly rush to the district and offer the needed support.
The entire buildings are right up in water, so we have no choice but to invite the top leadership to come in so that they come to our aid. It's not only this place in Teme where we are. When you go to Bwengwa, you go to MONZE Central, the entirety of the whole district we have a situation in which we are in water. So it is now when we are inviting the central government to come in and assist us.
And in Tembe, head teacher Herbert Hagonka says most of the school properties have been destroyed and that the school has been temporarily closed until the water levels go down.
So this alone is going to affect the results. I don't know when these water levels are going to go down. That means pupils will stop coming to school for some time. This is the first of its kind. I know they are psychologically affected because they have never seen this. They cannot work properly, and their food is also destroyed. Their belongings are destroyed. Everything is damaged in short.
And Jongo Eastward Councillor Tyson Hamamba says he cannot believe what his eyes have seen and is concerned that hunger is already looming the district and has called for urgent interventions.
Also, almost all the fields, they are submerged in water, which means the agriculture sector is gone, which means that there will be hunger looming around. And currently also there are areas that we cannot access. There are areas like Mutiti, Hamwimbu, where we have even over 300 people that are already affected. As at yesterday, houses have fallen, but we can't reach there because it's not accessible.
And our people here from this area, they are not used with this situation. We are people who are used with the droughts, but this year is something else. We are experiencing floods that we have never experienced. Not only in our time, but even from the time when this earth was created.
For now, these families are not certain where they will spend their night and await for urgent interventions from the authorities. Prudence Chota, reporting for Camnet TV News.
Traders in the Central Business District of Lusaka have expressed concern over the inactive garbage collection. They are calling on relevant authorities to come on board and assist before cases of cholera outbreaks are recorded in the city. The traders pay a fee of 5 kwacha for the collection of garbage, but the local authorities are inactive when it comes to clearing of the garbage. The traders have feared for their well-being because of the looming cholera outbreak. More in this report.
Sanitation in Lusaka's business district has been a concern to many people. Worse off with the increased street vending, garbage accumulates at a fast pace. Concerns have also been raised amidst the outbreak of diseases such as COVID-19 and now the cholera. By the fact, cholera is a dead disease which can be prevented. Thursday evening, Ministry of Health announced an outbreak of cholera in the eastern side of the country with a death being recorded and some admissions. A call for the observance of preventive measures such as cleanliness, boiling drinking water, and eating warm food were advised to members of the public. A check by Camnet TV in the CBD found people conducting business as usual. However, the traders are concerned about the piles of garbage which they have the potential to exhibit the spread of cholera.
We give to the government based on the cases of cholera that have recorded so far in Spain. Lusaka is one of the biggest cities in the business center where a lot of people will come and do the merchandising and do their businesses. So we have a lot of garbages within our area here in Lusaka, for which we have used the government to come and try to help us to clean the town, even the surroundings. As we are all aware that this is a place where a lot of people can come and do their business and do a lot of business within this town. And if the cholera comes in Lusaka and like the cases in Chipata, it's going to affect a lot of people and a lot of activities that have been done within this town. So please, we are appealing to the government so that this should put into position to say this place is cleaned regularly from time to time and all the garbage is collected using the...
Traders have lamented that a 5 kwacha is collected on a daily basis for the garbage collection, but the piles of garbage says otherwise.
So tuna chiva chitandizireko at least vaziyolela every decade is a nice and so at least vatitairako chenzelu ndiye umoyo kai vakayolela at least nice ngatakulisa but pametikulisa tungatizipianga pazipezeka clean so ise tuna chedandizo yoti tandizirako chemapini kuyolela bisazipona pini so kusenwa iwona mamene ivi so parifuru so sivakasitisi vangati vazakwera ngati vazakwera stisi.
Meanwhile, attempts to get a comment from the Lusaka City Council on the matter proved futile by broadcast time. Jabulani Chilwa, reporting from Camnet TV in Lusaka.
Over 30 traders from Lusaka's Common Market for Eastern and Southern Africa, COMESA, Friday afternoon marched to the American Embassy seeking refuge, alleging that they are currently being persecuted by cadres from the current administration for simply demanding for elections aimed at choosing leaders at the market. Speaking to Camnet News, the traders say they were given a new market committee, which comprises of people from the United Party for National Development, UPND, without elections leading to them holding protests against the decision. They state that this has led to them being persecuted at the market, and they have since fled the market and their homes fearing for their lives. As they say, the new committee is being supported by the Ministry of Local Government and Rural Development. More in this report.
Leadership wrangles at Lusaka's Common Market for East and Southern Africa, COMESA, have resulted in over 30 traders abandoning their market stores and fleeing both the market and their homes since 25th January 2023 in fear for their lives. The traders explained that a new committee comprising of United Party for National Development UPND members took over the market leadership without elections, alleging that they imposed themselves upon the traders and have been harassing them. The said new market leadership led by Donald Kachingwe has however been stating that elections took place and that some traders opted to stay away, stating that this does not make the elections null and void. According to the traders, Minister of Local Government and Rural Development Gary Kombo, in a bid to solve existing wrangles, merged elected officials from the old and new leadership, a move which was opposed by the said traders, as they wanted fresh elections altogether. On Wednesday, 25th January 2023, the wrangles escalated.
apologize for that breaking transmission. This is due to circumstances beyond our control. However, we continue with the news. The Millers Association of Zambia says it is disappointed to learn that some United Party for National Development UPND members are accusing millers of conniving with the Patriotic Front in hiking the price of milli meal. Association President Andrew Chintala says such sentiments have the potential to endanger the lives of innocent millers who are just doing businesses. Mr. Chintala says the union is non-partisan and works with the government of the day, adding that they should not be linked to any political party. Meanwhile, the ruling UPND has distanced itself from a statement issued by its member, Vene Hajomba, that the Millers Association of Zambia, MAZ, is made up of Patriotic Front members. UPND Secretary General Batuke Imenda has since warned party members to stop issuing imperative statements or risk facing disciplinary action. More in this report.
Leadership wrangles at Lusaka's Common Market for East and Southern Africa, COMESA, have resulted in over 30 traders abandoning their market stores and fleeing both the market and their homes since 25th January 2023 in fear for their lives.
Of winning the 12th August 2021 general elections has seen many United Party for National Development UPND members rush to the media to make sentiments without the approval of the party structures. Friday, 27th January 2023, the UPND woke up to a shock of a screaming headline in which one of the daily tabloid has quoted a UPND party member alleging to belong to the presidential campaign team identified as Vene Hajomba of having accused the Millers Association of Zambia of belonging to the opposition Patriotic Front and conniving to hike the price of milli meal. The ruling UPND Secretary General Batuke Imenda is, however, disappointed with the conduct of its party members and has distanced the party from the sentiments made by Mr. Hajomba.
Mr. Vene Hajomba had no right whatsoever to speak for the party. He has no right to speak for the UPND in that the UPND has a system on which to give statements to the press or to the nation.
He has since warned all party members to distance themselves from issuing statements that have not been approved by the party, further adding that disciplinary action will be taken against such offenders.
I would like to take advantage of this press conference to send a word of caution to the UPND members who have a habit or a tendency of going to the press and give unauthorized statements for any issue without the authority of my office. When such persons will be found or be heard representing the party or government, such people will be censured seriously.
Meanwhile, the Millers Association of Zambia is disappointed that a member of the UPND is linking the association to politics.
I would like to state and set it very clear. We are non-political. We work with government of the day. Our allegiance and our support is to the UPND government. Therefore, the statement attributed to our colleague, who the SG has just clarified that is not even part of the structure, is not only alarming, but obviously it is damaging to a greater extent. We engaged the SG because we thought that such statements could actually affect the good relationship that exists between ourselves and the UPND government.
He has since assured that milli meal prices in the country have started stabilizing following government's intervention of releasing over 200,000 metric tons of maize to millers. Prudence Chota, reporting for Camnet TV News.
Over 30 traders from Lusaka's Common Market for Eastern and Southern Africa, COMESA, Friday afternoon marched to the American Embassy seeking refuge, alleging that they are currently being persecuted by cadres from the current administration for simply demanding for elections aimed at choosing leaders at the market. Speaking to Camnet News, the traders say they were given a new market committee which comprises of people from the United Party for National Development, UPND, without elections, leading them to holding protests against the decision. They state that this has led to them being persecuted at the market, and they have since fled the market and their homes, fearing for their lives, as they say the new committee is being supported by the Ministry of Local Government and Rural Development. More in this report.
Leadership wrangles at Lusaka's Common Market for East and Southern Africa, COMESA, have resulted in over 30 traders abandoning their market stores and fleeing both the market and their homes since 25th January 2023 in fear for their lives. The traders explained that a new committee comprising of United Party for National Development UPND members took over the market leadership without elections, alleging that they imposed themselves upon the traders and have been harassing them. The said new market leadership led by Donald Kachingwe has however been stating that elections took place and that some traders opted to stay away, stating that this does not make the elections null and void. According to the traders, Minister of Local Government and Rural Development Gary Kombo, in a bid to solve existing wrangles, merged elected officials from the older new leadership, a move which was opposed by the said traders, as they wanted fresh elections altogether. On Wednesday, 25th January 2023, the wrangles escalated after the Zambia police moved in by offering police escorts to one of the leaders from the new committee, Mr. Donald Kachingwe, to protect him from the mob of angry traders who were against the leadership. The said traders, however, state that they were, forced to flee both the market and their homes on the same day in fear of being harassed by UPND cadres as well as the Zambia police, as 17 traders from their group have so far been arrested and are being held at Lusaka Central Police. The affected traders Friday afternoon marched to the American Embassy seeking refuge and are calling for President Hakainde Hichilema to take an interest in the matter.
We were being intimidated, and right now we are even seeking refuge in our own country, Zambia. We don't have where to go. We are being warned, we are being hunted, the cadres are all over. You can't even reach at the station as long as you are known that you were trading at that market. We are in pressure. So we are asking for help from our beloved president.
Tivote muntamile tifuna manje maitadabu acheba leta ba polisi na ba commission na ba kada bagulizana bankala mchintu chimozi tenzeri bese tunatawa pa market na ngule no swapa sili pa market kan pata gate ndiye kulira kwangu kamenilira ine kabanuza twakanipesa pali ponse bazani gwira.
We are almost 30 who have been targeted because of the information that was given by the police commissioner, Lusaka province commissioner, to arrest ring leaders, of which we are not part of this. We are just marketeers who came.
Tilibera ndrama tasiyama business bajasiara ninga kulibera ventinga chite manja. Kulibeko tizaenda tilibeko enda kwinangu. Takulira pa COMESA market papers. So tipempa ko government ba president batandizeko singa menyane na government. Ise chamene tipempa ma election ngati ma election yakanga ise batisie na peace pa market. Dise ba business. Dise tienda chena business ya tutafika taguri satabwelela na mtendeke.
Meanwhile, UPND National Deputy Youth Spokesperson Phineas Pumulo states that COMESA market has no cadres, alleging that the group of traders belongs to the former ruling Patriotic Front PF party.
We as a party youths, we have no mandate whatsoever to participate in this election. These elections were conducted here and the people here voted. So those who see that are protesting, those who are saying that they have run away from their houses, who is following them? For what? These are people who are collecting money from people here at COMESA market. So they have got their liberty, they are free to do whatever they want to do, they are free to use other channels. But us as a party, we have nothing, we are not involved in the elections here. I can confirm to you that the elections which were conducted by here, they were conducted by the marketeers themselves.
The American Embassy has directed the traders to write a letter to the American ambassador highlighting their plight, after which a way forward will be communicated. Zipporah Mshala, Camnet News, Lusaka.
The opposition Patriotic Front, PF, has described the performance of former presidential spokesperson and press aide Anthony Vualia as a mess, alleging that the Zambian people were shortchanged as there was an information gap. In an interview, PF Deputy Media Director Edwin Lifwekelo says the party is expectant that the next presidential spokesperson and press aide will have a background in media, as this will enable them to understand modern communication trends. The PF Media Director has also alleged that there is lack of guidance in the current administration on who must speak on behalf of the government, the party and the president, noting that different officials cross lines. Secretary to the Cabinet, Patrick Kangwa, on Wednesday announced the transfer of Mr. Anthony Bwalya, who has been serving as presidential spokesperson and press aide, to Tanzania as a Deputy High Commissioner with immediate effect.
Our expectation as PF is to have a presidential spokesperson that has vision, that has maturity, that can be embraced everyone, regardless of diverse opinions or affiliation, whether to society or whether to political parties. Somebody will speak the mind of the president. That is our expectation. Currently, the confusion that is there is that you have too many spokespersons in UPND, too many. You have a party spokesperson. When he speaks like as if he's speaking on behalf of government. You have the filer, director information. When he speaks as if he's speaking both on behalf of the president and on behalf of the Minister of Information. You have also the overall boss to the filer, who is the Minister of Information, who also must speak and interpret policies of government. But they've been crisscrossing. You find that presidential spokesperson is speaking on party matters, UPND as a political party. Presidential spokesperson is speaking as if he's speaking on behalf of the party. Party spokesperson is speaking as if he's a spokesperson for the president. Sometimes he's speaking as if he's a spokesperson for the party, in some cases, which should be the case. So I think that going forward, Anthony in that position, I think the office was too big for him, for lack of a better term.
Meanwhile, United Party for National Development, UPND Chairman for Energy, Charles Kaisala, says tribal remarks being propelled by the opposition due to the redeployment of former presidential spokesperson Anthony Bwalya into foreign service are unfortunate. Speaking to the media Friday afternoon, Mr. Kaisala says leaders should preach peace and not divisive talk, adding that there is nothing strange about redeploying a civil servant. He has since urged the Zambian people to denounce those propagating tribal sentiments.
About redeploying, and then people bringing as a tribal agenda. I think there are other senior government officials as well as other people leading other institutions like the army, ZNS, the police force, who have left their top jobs to serve in the foreign service. It is unfortunate that terrorism is now rearing its ugly head again following the deployment of a public officer. It's a shame. So, like I mentioned earlier on, the respected leaders, elders like Mr. Leslie Mbola was secretary to the cabinet in charge of all civil servants, but was deployed to South Africa as High Commissioner, reporting to the Permanent Secretary at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. But there was no talk. Emmanuel Mwamba, one of the current people very critical of this government, was Permanent Secretary, but was appointed High Commissioner to South Africa, which people are saying is a lower position. But there was no talk at the time. Let's solve up. Our country has a lot of challenges which needs overcoming. It's a shame that some political greenhorn wants to ride on the tribal card. Tuakana mkwai.
Citizens First Party President Harry Kalaba has advised the Zambian government to have a one-on-one negotiations with all creditors if the debt restructuring process is to be quickly concluded. In an interview with Camnet News, Mr. Kalaba says the debt restructuring process has taken long to conclude because the current administration is sidelining China, who is the country's biggest creditors, by leaning so much on the West. He says government cannot leave the negotiations to the International Monetary Fund, IMF, when it is not part of the creditors that Zambia owes more than 13 billion United States dollars. He says having a one-on-one interaction with the creditors will give Zambia a better chance of concluding the debt restructuring, as each creditor will be given an opportunity to make their demands known to the Zambian people.
The president should have been very aware that all those maneuvers he was doing to solidly align himself only to one corridor, which was the Western corridor, was not the way to go. I think Zambia owes a lot of money from China, and it is only prudent that the president should have treaded carefully. I mean, look, the president has been to the USA about 5 times since he was elected. He has never been to Beijing. He has never been there. And so it's things like that that don't show confidence with the creditors. They begin thinking that maybe they're being treated in a cheap way or in a low manner as compared to others. And so the process might end up being slowed because of that. I think the way forward for Zambia is to begin bringing all creditors on board, begin talking to creditors on board. If need be, they need to begin engaging creditors on a bilateral basis, meaning on a one-to-one basis. That way it will help.
Patriotic Front presidential aspirant Miles Sampa has charged that those aspiring to be in politics must stay away of business because the motive is to enrich themselves at the expense of serving the nation. Mr. Sampa is disappointed that people are using politics to advance their selfish agendas by awarding themselves contracts at the expense of other capable Zambian contractors. And Mr. Sampa has also alleged that he is well placed to take over the PF leadership as opposed to others whom he accused of facing charges. Meanwhile, Mr. Sampa has predicted that another candidate being sponsored by the governing United Party for National Development will join the PF presidential race to cause chaos in the PF during the convention. And the Material Constituency lawmaker has urged the UPND administration to improve the economic situation in the country. Here's a report.
Miles Sampa, one of the 8 aspiring presidential candidates seeking to take over the leadership of the Patriotic Front, Zambia's major opposition political party, Friday engaged the press to discuss a wide range of issues from economics to politics. On the aspect of politics, Mr. Sampa believes that he is well placed to lead the PF and accused some aspiring presidential candidates of plotting the downfall of the former ruling party.
Presidential race, those who think they will go to one province and say, votere nuni, our grassroots officials are so jacked up now, no one can order them who to vote for. And the more you are telling them vote for this one, it's been endorsed by this one, real or perceived, you are actually campaigning them. And where I've been, they are waiting for them. Let the convention take place in March as advertised. Ideas of postponing to the end of the year or next year, grassroots are miracle.
And Mr. Sampa is disappointed that people are using politics to advance their selfish agenda by awarding themselves contracts, a trend he said must come to an end.
If you are a businessman, stay in business. Choose whether you are a businessman or you want to lead people in a service, be it a councillor, mayor, or MP, or president. And you go to people, you tell them, I want to be your servant, elect me, so that I go and speak for you, and I go and help make policies and environment that will benefit you. Others seem to come in public service to have a pecuniary advantage to do business for their own companies. So you come in, you are a minister, then you have a company, you push a road, and the contract goes to your company. That company makes money, it comes in your pocket. That's modern theft.
And on the economic side, Mr. Sampa underscored the need for Zambia to start finding solutions on where to source fertilizer in the wake of the Russia-Ukraine war, which has led to limited supply of the commodity. Mr. Sampa also called on the UPND government to stop power exports, give Konkola copper mines KCM back to Vedanta, as well as recapitalize Mopani copper mine in order to reactivate the sleeping copper belt economy.
Which I support, is that the mine should be given back to Vedanta immediately so that operation starts at the mine, so that jobs are created, so that payments to suppliers are made. Akandanika Ripawali is better than what is not. A bird in hand is better than two in the air. If Vedanta has its own problem, they are better than that dream investor we have. They are not here. To get rid of Vedanta and find a new investor, it's going to take nothing less than 7 years.
Patrick Soko, Camnet News.
We'll take a commercial break. We'll be back with more news after the break.
From time immemorial, we have had different types of lighting options, from those that can burn down our investments in minutes to those that dig holes in our pockets due to constant replacement and huge consumption of our ZESCO units. Savenda Electric introduces the new and advanced electric bulb with cutting-edge technology of LED that has low power consumption, gives out bright white light, and lasts up to 25,000 hours. Savenda Electric manufactures all types of LED light like plastic LED fluorescent tubes, down lights, ceiling lights, outdoor fittings, and solar street lights made to customer specifications. Let's live on the bright side of life by choosing the wide range of Savenda electric lighting solutions that are available in all leading stores and supermarkets countrywide. For orders, call 0962-642-490 or email jnbunda@savenda.com or pchabula@savenda.com.
Your skin is the biggest muscle in your body. That's why we make sure that Oracle is #1 when it comes to taking care of your precious skin. Oracle Pure Petroleum Jelly and Glycerin soothes, moisturizes, and keeps your skin perfect. Oracle Pure Petroleum products for that perfect skin.
Coverage of any breaking or latest news in Zambia and around the world on Camnet television, call the numbers on your screen. Camnet television, bringing to your screens fair news, impartial news, credible and reliable news all the time. Get the whole truth on Camnet World News. Camnet Television, not just another channel.
Welcome back. We'll continue with the news. Bishop John Mambo has assured and urged the church mother bodies to safeguard the sanctity of marriage. In an interview with Camden News, Bishop Mambo says marriage is an institute that was ordained by God and should be protected. He notes that the statistics recorded each year are worrying, describing the over 15,000 cases of divorce recorded as a sham owing to Zambia's state of Christianity. And he adds that the church plays a major role in the union of a couple, but nowadays many churches are in a hurry to marry off young couples without adequate counseling, hence the continued high cases of divorce. More in this report.
Divorce statistics in Zambia, though reducing, have become a source of concern, a matter that has also caught the attention of President Hakainde Hichilema, who recently advised couples to love and understand one another for marriages to last. The church, as a strong voice on national matters, especially in a Christian nation like Zambia, has also expressed concern over these statistics. In 2021, Zambia recorded 22,000 cases in all 10 provinces of the country. However, Statistics have indicated that in 2022, the total number of applications received were 31,452 with 15,147 requests granted, a reduction of 6,853 from the 2021 statistics, while 16,305 requests were rejected in 2022. Bishop John Mambo has urged the church mother bodies to work together to ensure that couples are cancelled during the marital journey.
The church must put its house in order. You declared Zambia a Christian nation. Are you not ashamed that you have more divorces than ever? Why? Because the pastors are in competition. You are fighting for power. The power is not yours. The power is of God. Who are you after all? I can have a name as Bishop Mambo, Bishop Mambo. That is zero. What God wants is to save him.
Bishop Mambo has attributed the high levels of divorce cases in the country to inadequate preparation by marrying parties, lack of Christian principles, and shunning of the Zambia's indigenous cultures over Western cultures.
You know, the reason why you need Ubuntu marriage, traditional counseling, as well as the church, is because the Bible is very clear. Once you put two people together, no one can separate them. Now the problem is that we have used the body of Christ, the church in this country, to me it has become Jesus Christ industry. Then secondly, the body of Christ itself, we are in a hurry to put on robes and marry them and come up with a number, married so many. Count also the number of divorces. That among these, you find that probably the majority are from the church. But we did not take enough time.
Beatrice Chabaya, Camnet News, Lusaka.
Zambia Police Inspector General Lemi Kajoba has instructed police to ensure that all suspects involved in the killing of elderly people on terms that they have been selected as witches and wizards by a moving coffin in a practice known as Kikondo, mostly practiced in Northwestern Province, be rounded up and made accountable. Speaking to Camnet News, Zambia Police Assistant Public Relations Officer Godfrey Chilabi says the Inspector General has noted that police, despite 9 cases having been recorded in Northwestern Province between January 2022 and 2023, only 1 person has been brought to book so far. Meanwhile, the Police Inspector General says government has bought more than 150 motor vehicles for the Zambia Police Service through the Constituency Development Fund CDF to help solve the problem of transport challenges. More in this report.
While Zambia is recognized as a Christian nation and one of the most peaceful countries in the world, bad traditional practices have continued to threaten this peace and stability, and in most cases, perpetrators have gone scot-free. This is the case concerning the spate of killings that occurred in 2022, where citizens in selected parts of the country, especially the elderly, were killed by mobs on suspicions of practicing witchcraft, as the perpetrators said the victims had been magically selected by a moving coffin, which directed the pallbearers to their houses. The cases were prevalent in Northwestern Province, namely in Kasempa and Solwezi, as 9 cases were recorded in this part of the country between January 2022 and January 2023, but of these, only 1 has been arrested, while the rest are still on the run. Zambia Police Inspector General Lemi Kajoba says there is need to round up all suspects, further instructing that additional manpower of paramilitary officers be deployed to these areas to help in the manhunt. Police Assistant Public Relations Officer Godfrey Chilabi was speaking to Camnet News on the said.
Also mentioned on the issue of engaging traditional leadership so that, this practice is somehow discouraged. Yeah, and the most victims in this practice are those elderly people aged between 60 and 90. And these are the people, that fall victims to that. As Zambia Police Service, according to what the IG said, it's observed that the pallbearers, most of them are hired from various places who come and do that. And then after the execution of this crime, they run away to places where they came from. It also affects the family members of those that have been victimized, in that you find that they will abandon the entire village, and this is something that has caused, havoc or problem to most of the people in Kasempa.
Meanwhile, Over 150 police vehicles have been purchased for the Zambia Police using the Constituency Development Fund, CDF, to help in solving the lack of transportation at police stations and enhance security.
We will receive vehicles, a fleet of vehicles through CDF, about 150 vehicles by the end of this first quarter. So it's something that we've received, with happiness as Zambia Police Service, in that transport plays an important role when it comes to our operations. Crime prevention, responding to scenes and the like. Transport is something that is cardinal. We are aware that transport is quite inadequate. It's inadequate in the Zambia Police Service. So where we receive 150 vehicles, it's something that will take us far.
The Police Inspector General is currently in Northwestern Province on a working visit. Zipporah Mshala, Camnet News, Lusaka.
A nutritionist from the University Teaching Hospital, UTH, has narrated before the Lusaka Magistrate Court how she was left in shock when she received information that one of the infants she had fed previously went missing. Constance Chola told Magistrate Crispin Hampungani that on the 7th of May 2022, she fed the said baby before knocking off from work. However, got surprised when she was called by the in-charge nurse that a baby was missing from the D block section. The witness was testifying in a case in which Judiciary Officer Precious Nkunika is jointly charged with 4 UTH employees with 1 count of child stealing. More in this report.
A nutritionist from the University Teaching Hospital had a hard time Friday morning answering questions that were put to her by the defense team in the alleged criminal case that a judiciary officer is accused of conniving with UTH employees and stealing a 6-day-old baby. Constance Chola, who earlier mentioned in her testimony that on the 7th of May 2022, she reported for work at UTH, herself and her colleague Sarah Kawe divided themselves and allocated time on which each was assigned to feed the babies. The witness, whose duties among others include feeding the babies whose mothers are unwell or deceased, did feed the baby in question, however was shocked that the following day she received a call from the in-charge that the baby was missing. During cross-examination, the witness could not confirm with the court the names of the mother of the said stolen baby. She also confirmed with the court that she did not see any of the accused persons in this matter getting the baby in question. The witness, who is a nutritionist at UTH, failed to explain the definition of her profession while claiming that she knew. However, explaining was hard. She also confirmed with the court that she possessed a certificate and not a diploma in the said field. Precious Nkunika, 28, a stores officer at the judiciary, Nelly Kasolo, 41, and Emily Ho, both nutritional demonstrator at UTH, Rebecca Ndovu, 42, a maid at UTH, stand charged with 1 count of child stealing, contrary to the laws of Zambia, while Grace Seseka is accused of harboring a child. The 5 accused persons are alleged to have jointly and whilst acting together with other persons unknown with intent to deprive Elina Lungu as a parent with lawful care of the said baby. According to a statement that the police had earlier issued before this matter was taken to court, it is alleged that 2 weeks after the first accused person in this matter, Precious Nkunika, delivered but unfortunately lost a child, a theft was staged to compensate for her loss. It is alleged that it was at this stage she was allegedly assisted by the named UTH employees to steal the said baby. The matter comes up on the 3rd of March 2023. Miriam Kaimba reporting for Camnet TV News.
The Lusaka High Court has dismissed with costs a preliminary issue raised by the state, alleging that the failure by former Zambia Security Intelligence Services Director General Xavier Chungo to challenge the forfeitures of his properties within a period of 3 months in terms of the right to sue on grounds of eligibility is statute barred. The court rules that it will determine at a judgment stage whether the plaintiff is entitled to recover his forfeited properties once they vest to the state. This is in a case in which Mr. Chungu wants a declaration that his detention without trial, as well as a forfeiture of his properties, is illegal. More in this report.
The Lusaka High Court has ruled that former Zambia Security Intelligence Service Director General Xavier Chungu is not statute barred, hence dismissing the application by the state with cost. This is in a matter in which Mr. Chungu wants a declaration that his detention without trial, as well as the forfeiture of his properties, is illegal. While the state had earlier submitted that the properties were illegally seized and forfeited to the state after following all legal procedures. However, the court in its ruling says it is not concerned of this ruling or present interlocutory proceedings to determine at this stage, unless at judgment stage, whether the plaintiff in this matter, Mr. Chungu, is entitled to recover his forfeited properties once they vested to the state. According to the state's earlier submissions, Mr. Chungu should have reclaimed his properties within 3 months from the date of the notice of forfeiture, adding that the failure by the plaintiff to claim within the stated period the properties therefore were forfeited and duly vested. In opposing their action, the plaintiff argued that the cause of action did not accrue in 2019 when he was last released from detention, but when he was cleared of all criminal charges by the former DPP Lillian Suni on June 14, 2016. In 2021, the former intelligence chief, Mr. Chungu, who served under the administration of the late President Frederick Chiluba, sued the state for unlawful detention and seizure of his properties, which happened about 19 years ago. The plaintiff is claiming $5,000 United States dollars as compensation for the illegal detention. Miriam Kaimba reporting for Camnet TV News.
This is Camnet Television Main News. We take our second and final break. We'll be back with international and sports news.
For immediate coverage of any breaking or latest news in Zambia and around the world on Camnet Television, call the numbers on your screen. Camnet Television, bringing to your screens fair news, impartial news, credible and reliable news all the time. Get the whole truth on Camnet World News. Camnet Television, not just another channel.
And now in international news, from dairy farms unable to keep milk refrigerated to chickens suffocating en masse as ventilators fell idle. An energy crisis is taking a heavy toll on South Africa's food sector, industry groups said. Record power cuts have caused shortages of some staples, threatening price rises that could make some popular items too expensive for poor families, agricultural industry body Agrisa said. Scheduled blackouts known as load shedding have burdened Africa's most industrialized economy for years, with state-owned energy firm Eskom failing to keep pace with demand and maintain its aging core power infrastructure. But the outages reached new extremes over the past 12 months. Poultry farmer Hemen Dupreez said at least 40,000 of his chickens were asphyxiated last week, with disruptions in power supply causing the farm's ventilation system to stop working. Power cuts have also slowed down operations at slaughterhouses, triggering chicken shortages, said Isaac Brainsburg, General Manager of the South African Poultry Association. For more in international news, here's a roundup.
From dairy farms unable to keep milk refrigerated to chickens suffocating en masse as ventilators fall idle, an energy crisis is taking a heavy toll on South Africa's food sector. Record power cuts have caused shortages of some staples, threatening price rises that could make some popular items too expensive for poor families.
After load shedding, the power came back on, but the volts in the house wasn't enough. So the computer has a phase failure protection system built in,
And the generators didn't kick in because Eskom was on. There was power, but the volts in the houses wasn't enough. So then the computer switches itself off and the ventilation system in the houses stopped working. And due to that, the chickens suffocated to death.
The owner of this farm says due to load shedding, an estimated 40,000 chickens died of suffocation, and it is practically impossible to run the farm on diesel.
We want to produce food for the nation. We want to give people jobs, but that's impossible to run the farm on diesel. You can't go on like this. It costs a lot of jobs. And I don't think it's sustainable. We can't go on like this. Even when we do have power, the volts and the amount of volts in the line, it's all over the place.
Scheduled blackouts known as load shedding have burdened Africa's most industrialized economy for years, with state-owned energy firm Eskom failing to keep up with demand and maintain its aging coal power infrastructure.
Just a week ahead of his scheduled trip to the Democratic Republic of Congo, DRC and South Sudan, Pope Francis has denounced a colonialist mentality of the international community towards Africa. There is a historical geographical reality. In Italian it is said, Africa va fruttata. That is, Africa is meant to be exploited. And that is the kind of colonialist mentality that remains. Africans are a tribe, they are black, they are this, they are that. Qualifications that diminish the true worth of Africa, right? And that is a problem of our attitude and of not yet having the courage of total independence on their part. Pope Francis goes to the DRC in the footsteps of Pope St. John Paul II, who visited the nation in 1980 and 1985. It is an old process, a cultural process as well, that has to be accompanied. We can't go to Africa with our finger like, no, we have to listen to their culture, to hold dialogue, to learn, to talk, to promote. It's a fascinating culture. The Catholic Pontiff is due to arrive Kinshasa on January 31 for a 3-day visit before proceeding to Juba, South Sudan.
It's now time for sports news. The Zambia Volleyball Association, ZAVA, has announced that it will this year embark on a rollout countrywide program in an effort to popularize volleyball in the country. ZAVA President Nakaonga Kakoma observes that volleyball activities and tournaments are only confined to selected provinces in the country, hence the need to change the narrative. Kakoma says people perceive volleyball as a minor sport because it has not yet been decentralized to all corners of the country as compared to football and other sports. She was speaking in an interview with Zanis in Lusaka today, further pledging to embark on an ambitious sensitization crusade countrywide in schools, colleges and communities. Meanwhile, Kakoma has paid glowing tribute to Invest Trust Bank for the donation of 500,000 kwacha to 7 sports associations to develop women's sports, confirming that ZAVA received 100,000 kwacha to develop women volleyball. She further called on the corporate world to come on board and sponsor volleyball in the country in a quest to promote and popularize it. The ZAVA president has since commended the government for its commitment to promote minor sports in the country, saying every sports discipline has a huge potential to create jobs for the people, especially the youths. To end Camnet television news, the headlines once again. CADRE infiltration prompts COMESA market traders to seek refuge at the American embassy. The Millers Association of Zambia disappointed in the UPND. Schools temporarily closed in MONZE due to floods. In international news, South African farmer warns of food shortages amidst ongoing power cuts. And in sports news, ZAVA to decentralize volleyball activities across the country. Our Camnet verse of the day is coming from 2 Corinthians chapter 4, verse 7. But we have this treasure in jars of clay to show that this all-surpassing power is from God and not from us. Thank you once again for watching Camnet Television News. My name is Jeffrey Ziambo. Bye-bye.